start into the questions, I want to introduce everybody. And yeah, I start with the man in the middle, Mortimer. Who saw his awesome show last night? And the first time that Pete and I became aware of Mortimer's unique voice was on Protégé's album Ancient Future in 2015, produced by Winter James. In the collab with Protégé, you know, Protection is the song. The very first word on the album, Protégé gave them to Mortimer because he was overwhelmed by his voice as well. And a few years later, we visited the singer and we had a deep reasoning at his home in the hills outside of Kingston. Mortimer graced the Rhythm Mac cover for the first time in 2020. Today, Mortimer works closely with producer Winter James, a collaboration that gave us the widely cherished album From Within, a very personal and musically open-minded approach to reggae music. Give him a warm round of applause. And next to me is Kumar Fyah. Time travel to 2011. It was at the beautiful and breathtaking Wiki Waki Beach, east of Kingston, that Pete and I were blown away by the performance of Raging Fire. When the band played their anthem, Judgment Day, we knew we had to talk to them. And even though hardly anybody knew the band at that time, they graced the Rhythm Mac cover shortly after. Today, Raging Fire is history, and Kumar is a successful solo act who is touring with roots reggae artists like Third World. Not too long ago, he released the convincing roots reggae statement, Tales of Reality, with 18th Parallel, the house band of the Swiss label Fruits Records. Give him a warm round of applause. And our third artist we have on the panel today is the one and only Yaadcore. Who we became aware of roughly at the same time as Raging Fire. Not as an artist who rocks the festival stages as he does today, but as one of the best selectors who rocked venues at the beginning and peak of the reggae revival. Yaadcore was synonymous with the popular reggae event Dubwise Jamaica, and he knows I really danced my off. As a touring DJ of Protégé, he not only traveled the world, but also got hooked to become an artist himself. In 2022, he released his well-acclaimed debut album, Reggaeland, with his unique ganja-seasoned voice. He chooses a dubby approach to reggae music. Welcome, Yaadcore. Yeah. I would actually love to start to put a question to each of you. Since today's topic is 3 different roots of reggae, maybe you yourself can describe how you would say is your respective approach to reggae music. How would you describe it yourself?
Well, reggae for I and I, blessed greetings to everyone once again. Reggae music to I and I is a spiritual healing. You know, I got introduced to it through my father having a sound system, and that's how I became a selector. And then my journey into Rastafari is kind of what really led me to, you know, be a strict reggae artist, you know, as well as having a son and not want to expose him to, you know, negative dancehall lyrics and so forth that I was, you know, playing before. So reggae music is a spiritual healing and a spiritual calling, you know.
Yeah, and how, Mortimer or Kumar or Coombs, how would you describe your approach to reggae music?
Yeah, greetings everybody. Yeah, man, enough love. So for me, reggae music, was an early part of my life. Growing up in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, we had a sound system. I couldn't have been more than 9, but my uncle had a sound system in the yard, and every day we would play the Garnet Silk songs and, Bob Marley songs. And as my father used to say, black okra, but a black euro still, But, that's what I learned, early out. And my father was also one of the first, man to buy an amplifier in the south part of Jamaica back in the late 60s, 70s. So you find that sounds like Sturgav, King Sturgav sound with, Daddy Uri and the whole works. My daddy was a part of that very early. So I grew up, I hear stories, say, oh, music, music, roots rocking. So by the time I got to Edna Manley School of Music in Kingston, I was already fully interested in what, reggae music had to offer. And then we get Mr. Ibo Cooper as a teacher. History.
Hi, blessings everybody. Hope all is well seen. I feel like I would describe my music and my approach to my music as just, honest. Honest music from my heart, because it's a little bit more than an approach to just reggae music. It's an approach to life and music overall, you know what I mean? Regardless of the genre, there is a certain kind of level of honesty that needs to be in the music. And that takes honesty with self a lot too, even the hard parts, you know what I mean? So when we get the opportunity to turn that into sonics, you know what I mean? And we're influenced by life itself and all that's within us and around us, you know what I mean? So definitely, I would say that's how I describe my approach to my music, Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mortimer. Can you play a little piece of music, please?
Catch a groove, wanna feel the siren vibe. I said just rock and come in, said the vibe is right. Yeah. Say bring your queen, I tell yourself loud the machine tonight. Yeah. Cause it's a funky reggae party and we feel the vibe. Yeah. It's a long time I know dance like this.
Yeah, beautiful song, right? And Kumar, you became popular as the lead singer of the band Raging Fire. And at that time, there were quite some reggae bands gaining momentum in Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Be it Uprising Roots, Daptonic Crew, Pentatouche. And Kums, do you have an explanation why none of these bands, managed to still exist?
Yeah, well, you see, sometimes the lack of knowledge, I think is a big part of the issue. Growing up in Jamaica is not growing up in the US or Europe 10, 15, 20 years ago. So the level of know-how that we're supposed to have about even the business, the industry that we're coming into, sometimes we don't, not sometimes, in most cases, you learn that after the fact. So, and it shows with a lot of what happened to our elders too, So it's hard to keep a unit together, in the face of, financial struggle and, social lacking, like, you don't really know how to socialize properly in terms of pushing your music. So we have to learn that, as a band. Many successful artists come from Jamaica, solo artists, but, there you can count the bands, you know, the Third World and the Morgan Heritage, the ones that actually made it to this time, where people can say, yo, we love band music. I prefer band music. I am a musician at heart, you know, before anything else, you know, so I don't change that for anything, you know, so if the day comes again where, you know, musicians, especially even Raging Fire, I'm not gonna hide, it's a very soft spot for me, like, I would definitely play with them again and play the music, you know, if life permits, and if they permit, or, you know, if we can all agree on it, but sometimes everybody not going to be on the same page, and you have to learn to accept that, and sometimes the work that we've done already might just be enough, you know, of a legacy to live, to inspire maybe, you know, my son and his friends 10, 15 years later. Because life is just a cycle, so I don't know what else to tell you about why it don't work. I cry about it every day and hope it can work, but, you know, let's see how it goes, man. More life to the band, them more try, yeah.
Thanks. And yeah, I would like to put one more question to you, Coombs. And you know, you are now a solo artist. So what did it take, you know, to move on from a band being a solo artist? Of course, you're performing with Third World, you know, but what did it take?
The music tastes better when, you know, you actually cook with your brethren them, and you eat with them, and everybody. You know, communion. I think, you know, it's a big part. As Mortimer said, you have to be honest. And the most honest you can get is when you know somebody. Because you might think that you know somebody, but you might not even know yourself. Because a lot of us, if you meet yourself tomorrow morning in the mirror, you just might not like him. You just might be like, yo, what is this man? But it's you. And I think that is a hard lesson, you know, for all I will learn. So as a solo artist, I had to face myself, you know, and kind of realize, you know, outside of a unit, outside of a team, who am I? And some days you're sure, and the next day you're like, yo, what this artist go through, you know? But then the music more powerful than everything else. And sometimes if it's even just for myself, me still sing, so I does that.
Thank you. Yeah, we listen to another piece of music.
Yes. Oos. Oos. Alright. Me say a reggae, this a reggae, that a reggae on top. Reggae can't flop, and me say reggae a fish shot. Them hear the reggae and them think I one drop. Whole world knows that the reggae can't stop, and me say reggae, this a reggae, that a reggae on top. Reggae can't flop, and me say reggae a fish shot. Them hear the reggae but I never won. Try make them know we live a reggae land. I am the reggae man and me have the vibes. Style and the pattern just a rock you all night. Anywhere we step in on the world, so the people are cry, say the reggae.
Yeah, Reggae Land. And Yaadcore, you were and you still are a great selector, in my opinion. So what made you do this move and also become an artist yourself?
Well, you know, to be exact, the most standard out time that kind of inspired me was I was opening for Protege in Italy, Bergamo, right? And when you're a reggae selector, you play the song, and then you have the chapter 2, which is the rhythm version of the song. So I played the rhythm version, and I heard the crowd saying, "Sing a song, sing a song." You know, so at first, even that time, I never wanted to become a full artist, but I always wanted to be able to put lyrics on rhythms to enhance my DJ show. And, you know, getting into production and more writing sessions, you know, and you hear your vocals developing over time, and it just happened natural. The first song that I released, Ready Now, was actually not even to be my rhythm. I got the rhythm to, you know, produce for other artists. And I was playing the rhythm in the studio, And my friends were there, and they said, you know, they were ready now. Like, they were telling me that they're ready to leave the studio. And I just start singing Ready Now right away. So, you know, that was also the third song I ever wrote too. So, you know, it's just a natural journey, you know, nothing planned or anything like that.
And was it hard for you to get a foot into the business as an artist?
Not really, because I was producing before, so I had access to rhythms from different producers, you know. So I wouldn't say it was hard for me to, you know, get music out or anything. I want to say big respect also to Mikey Dread, who is also one of my biggest inspirations, because he's a DJ who also had the first reggae show on radio in Jamaica. And he's a producer and he's an artist. So when I saw that, you know, it opened my eyes to say, oh, this might be a journey, you know? So yeah, that's how it came about.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mikey Dread at the control was really something very special. Dread at the control was very special. Right?
Yeah, man, natural.
And yeah, let's hear another piece of music, please.
Yeah. Oh, what heap of things man go through. Man see through all them lies as I close my eyes, maturing as I go through. Still working on some things on the inside. There's lesson in the struggle. This one's just swinging by, had to take my time. So many times I've stumbled, yes. All of us can relate to some. If I could take it all away, would I lie?
So hard to make a song like this stop.
I won't see what it's all about. I'm just trying to work it out. If you wanna see brighter days, then you got to do what it takes.
Oh man, this song really is something. Really. And Mortimer, you chose a very personal approach to reggae music, which in my eyes is a very revolutionary approach. You know, you show your vulnerability, which is not very typical of the genre. So what were and are the reactions you get, you know? Because, yeah, I think it's really so strong to do this, and it's needed way more.
So, I think this mic thing a little short for me still, you know, but before any organization, before any religion, before any policy and politics, you know, before any titles, before any class, we are human beings before all that, you know, and it's the man that's behind all of that. So it's not the politics that need addressing, it's the man behind the politics. It's not the religion that need addressing, it's the man behind the religion. You know, it's not the policies that need addressing, it's the man that create them in the first place. Which is why I keep talking about how important honesty is, you know, with self. You know, because it all comes down to that at the end of the day. Before I am anything else, before I am father, husband, before I am Rasta, before I am anything like that, I am man, seen in its simplest, most divine form. See me? I am spirit. That's what I am. So any adjustment I have to make, I have to make it from that standpoint. See me? So the sooner we talk to the man and the sooner we talk to the woman, you know, the sooner we talk to the child within ourselves, then, you know, yeah, so that's definitely my approach for sure. You know, before I can touch anything else, I'm trying to touch the man within first. A lot of my music was birthed out of pain and suffering in my heart and soul, anger, you know, and music was, still is, you know, a place for me to be. It's my safe space. It's a place for me to let it all out. It's a place for me to process what I'm going through. You know, the culture that I'm from never encouraged sitting on the bench, talking to a counselor, or, you know, anything like that. And we grew up with an unhealthy view of mental health, you know, and just how we as human beings navigate this whole life. And so I feel like it was important for me to start with me first, you know, and then hopefully I can affect along the way and affect along the way, you know. So for me, that level of vulnerability is scary, you know, because sometimes you can't even face the demons that are within your own self. But it's very important that we do at the end of the day. And to be present is a gift that we don't get every day. Let me tell you why I said that too, because we don't have the time that we say we have. You know, time is much beyond us. It's greater than us, and time is older than us. This earth is older than us. And we have now. And so to be present in the moment is to recognize and to accept that all we have is now, literally. So we make plans and we have all these things, but, you know, as I said in my song too, we can't turn back the hands of time at all. You know, so one of the things we have to do is to be a lot more accepting of life and all it has to offer, all our experiences, and just try to make the best sense of it we can, you know? Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for your honesty and for sharing that with the lovely Rototom people. And Mortimer, to haven't seen you on stage last night, you know, or haven't seen you at Summer Jam as well, what I really love is, you know, you take in the people, you talk to the people, you know, and is this something what you just do out of the moment, what it comes that you stop, you know, and the people listen, which is beautiful, because normally artists don't do that. They just perform, they say, you know, something, but not, they don't stop and talk to the people. I think this is so beautiful. And yeah, so does this come out of the moment, out of you that you stop? So maybe you can describe what is going on in your mind when you...
You know, yeah, Ellen, it does. It comes straight from my heart always. And like, I'm cognizant of the fact that we all in here, you know, and run about the earth, we have our fair share on our hearts as well. You know, so a lot we say, a lot we don't say. I feel like when I am blessed with the opportunity to gather in such a fashion musically, it's very important for us to connect as human beings. You know what I mean? So that's all it is, but it's definitely in the moment I just speak from my heart. You know, and what I've so much, my heart is busting out half the time. So when I do get the chance to communicate with my fellow man, I do that, you know. And I'm aware that you may be feeling the same things that I'm feeling as well. You know, so it's good to hear it out sometimes, out loud, you know, from each other.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, let's listen to some music again.
The sweet of a victory. Hey, hey. No take no talk, them can't take no stripe off me. Oh, no, no, some wannabes wanna fly. We still have the most high, Lord. And every day when I rise, I take the wool from my eyes.
Yes, thank you. Never give up. And yeah, you're all trotting the Rastafarian path. And I would like to know, which strengths do you draw from it personally, on a personal level?
Well, personally, I draw from family, My family is a big inspiration. And, close friends, and definitely Rastafari, because most of my elders and, the ones that I go to for counsel, a lot of the times, Babandi, who passed away, was somebody who I sat for years and years with, to learn, how to actually, become the man that I am today. So it's not even, as Mortimer said, before everything else, you're a human being, you have to be a man. So I got most of my teachings through, Rastafari elders. So for me, I use that in my music as well as I definitely, think about my family. There are struggles that we all go through personally that you can't talk to anybody about it, at least not in Jamaica. Yeah, you're going to have to just figure it out on your own. And, so with that, as I said, the music, come into play. And a lot of the songs are parables, Most of my music is really just a song like Never Give Up. Yeah, it's literally me, I tell you, say, me not gonna stop. So all of who believe like I'm gonna quit one day singing or stop, it's not gonna happen. So we never give up, and it's word sound and it's power. So I prefer to sing about, my reality that I wish to create, that I am creating, and that's how it is.
Thank you, Kum.
What was the question?
Rastafari, and how far you draw strength from it. Rastafari, and how you draw strength from it on a personal level.
Rastafari is love. Rastafari is liberty. Seeing Rastafari is oppression that we face. These struggles that we face is what really make us who we are. Understand? So no matter the bad things that you experience in life, this is what really make you who you be. So a lot of the times we pray for a better Jamaica or a better wherever, but if it wasn't how it is, then, we wouldn't be who we are. So, we give thanks to the elders we go through the stress and the struggle. Rastafari was refuge for me when I was a teenager, smoking herb, and parents never too like that, and them would have said, yeah, I got turn cruff. You understand? In Jamaica, in cruff means like worthless or whatever. So, when I find Rastafari, I kind of really get a comfort for know say I not do nothing wrong. You understand? I still have my dignity, and I still on the right path and the right journey. So Rastafari is, as I say again, unity and love amongst all human, you understand? Human beings, no matter the color, no matter the religion. Rastafari show a spirituality, you understand? If you look past the color of your eyes, seeing and see who you really are. So that we get from Rastafari, you know.
Yeah, give thanks for sharing it, Yaadcore. Yeah, and before I ask Mortimer, I would like Pete to play a song. Yeah, Mortimer, now, yeah, what does Rastafari, where you draw the strengths from it on a personal level?
Yeah, I listen to Kumar, I listen to Yaadcore, and I feel like, you know, they said a lot, you know, and a lot of meaningful things. I will say for me, Rastafari is being grounded. It's about being at one with self and recognizing the oneness within self and others round about you. You know, I will say that, definitely.
Thank you. I have to skip a few questions. The time is always faster as my questions. And yeah, another song, please, Pete, from Yaadcore now.
Them can't say them never know. And a bread boy, you know the thing hard like though. Get to youths no stray then. Go when me check a stock, I listen all the reasoning and see a clock I raise them. I me go sight up on the news so much echo long catch they in a Salem. Watch them a step with the AK-47 bright in a Maypen. No, Selassie I beg you save them.
Land where me love, land where me born, plant can.
Strong one, Yaadcore.
Yeah, we're giving a little stage preview, you know?
Yeah, and you know, reggae has always been described as rebel music, articulating social ills and political disorders without being too political. Do you think reggae is loud enough in today's world? You know, should reggae address more what is going on in times of, you weren't here at the beginning what I said, like climate change, fake news, you know, all these autocrats around the world, all this, you know.
Yeah, definitely. That is what reggae is for, you know, but you can't get all of the topics at one time. You understand? So yeah, it's just time and different artists get different inspiration from different things. That particular instance that I'm speaking about in Maypen was actually a true story, you know. Some gunmen, you know, running upon a store and race. So, and that I sang that like way after, you understand? So probably at the time somebody would say, oh, nobody now sing about the thing what going down a Maypen and you know, but time is really the master. And yeah, that's what reggae is for teach people stuff that, you know, the bigger heads don't want to teach you, the governments don't want to teach you, and stuff that you're going to learn that you can't learn in school, you know, because music is magic. So some things that somebody can say to you talking, you might not resonate with you as deep as if you hear it in a musical song. The message might click different, you know. So yeah, man, reggae is rebel music.
And where do you all personally see the power of reggae music? You know, because we have like a time where, at least, you know, in Europe, people are complaining there are, you know, less people, less younger people listening to reggae music. It's hard to reach them and things like that. So what can be done? Where do you see the power, and how do you view the state of reggae music these days?
Everything is time once again, and everything has a cycle. So before Protege and Raging Fire them, and they were probably saying the same thing right before that, right?
Yeah.
And then a boom come, and then everybody nice, everybody happy, and then, you know, so it's like a wave. So right now, you know, I hope to be a part of the new wave that is going to make a change in reggae music. And I don't mean change as in change, but, you know, progress. And one thing I can say about reggae music as well is that we don't have as much investment or investors, you know, so that's a big part of marketing. You understand? Putting reggae music in front of the people more costs a lot, you know, so that's one of the things that's causing reggae to kind of go on a downhill. But we're there still, and we're whole firm, and tonight you're going to see the vibe, you know?
Looking forward. And what is your opinion, Kumar or Mortimer, on this? How do you view the state of reggae music these days?
Well, in my eyes, I think reggae music is definitely growing, because I travel a whole heap for the last 2 years. You know, I've done so many shows, you know, being on the road with Third World, you know, and every night, you know, the audience, you know, they're in wow. Everybody loves reggae music everywhere that we go. So sometimes we complain and we might say, boy, nah, do this and it, nah, do that. But I think if we just focus on, you know, the fact that this music is coming from the ghetto in Jamaica, or a little corner, and I go to Indonesia, I go to different countries, and there's reggae music, there's a reggae night everywhere in the world. So all who talk about reggae dead, me don't know where I talk. So for me, I think it's just, yeah, there's a reggae night. So I think we have to just kind of look at the business model of reggae music and just decide, you know, as Yaadcore said, investment into the culture to make it make sense, you know, for the stakeholders and everybody involved. You know, we're trying in Jamaica to do, you know, festivals. There's Wiki Waki, you know, there's Some Fest, there's Last in Time, there's Kingston Dub Club every single Sunday, which have more people from abroad than Jamaicans. So I believe that reggae music is something that my children's children will definitely come and appreciate and learn the history about Mortimer and Yaadcore and, you know, reggae, you know, Rototom. Like, they will come and learn, but only if we keep saying this every year. Oh, reggae dead, reggae good. Like we hear that already. You understand? And we're still there. So big up reggae music. Heal reggae music.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Seeing we still have a look on the fact of the matter, right? One of the reasons that I think that I made a huge impact as a selector was because I was the only one. I was the youngest one as a selector that say, oh, I'm going to stick to reggae music, right? And since my transition to becoming an artist, I don't see one DJ that step up to the table and say, me I go be a reggae DJ, a young reggae DJ, and try to, make the impact of Yaadcore do. Or, you get what I say, Kumar?
Yeah.
So we definitely want to see more youths within reggae music, and we are call them. That's why I said the calling. You see me? So, yeah.
Let's listen to one more song.
I'm talking about in Jamaica as well, as far as young selectors. So all the young selectors, them were there, big up on the selector.
I have a couple of questions for Kumar. I'm here.
Oh, bless him.
So the first one, I think it's something that has something to do with the state of reggae, because we're at Rototom, 30th edition, and it's the place where Jamaica is meeting Europe. And you had this experience with Matthias and the 18th Parallel, Europe and Jamaica sharing the vibes. It's a long history of producers and artists working together. Can you tell us something about this experience to have this album with this fine band living in Swiss, the 18th Parallel and Matthias on Fruits Records?
Yes, so basically I met Fruits Records, Matthias, them and Anton through Icon, so Icon is a living legend in Jamaica, Chinese Rastaman, and Icon is my neighbor, happens to be my neighbor in St. Elizabeth. So through that link, I met with the boys, and we did the first song years ago called Pass It On, Icon and Raging Fire, which was Icon's return after years of, being out of the public eye. So I didn't like how the band sound and their production. So I ended up, after leaving Raging Fire in 2018, I was, in Switzerland with a good friend of mine, Amigo. And, Anton showed me, and Anton was like, yo, Kumar, let's make some songs. But at that time, I think that, I wasn't ready to release an album so fast after, that heartbreak, so we started working on the music, and I think 2 years later, I had all the tracks made without singing the songs. I just did demos, and I sent them to the boys in Switzerland, and then they made the tracks live, then they would back and forth for 2-3 years, and then, big up the Raja, because we actually voiced some of those songs in the Raja living room. You wouldn't believe that, right? So the Raja was a major part, and Debo Ross, same way, being around me and encouraging the fact, So big up, man. It was a wonderful experience. And when I heard the final product, when they sent it to me, I was pleased. I was actually, surprised, because I was saying maybe, everybody's going to feel like it's not the same, that they're used to from Kumar. And I was expecting, more criticism, from the industry, because people like to talk about, oh, you should do this, and nobody can tell you what to do. You have to do what you want to do from your heart. And I respect those guys, and I appreciate, what they've done with the record. And I think that album is gonna do well, like it's been out a few months now, and we've sold over 1,000 copies vinyl, so it's going.
I have another question for you, because you already mentioned Edna Manley and the late legendary Ibo Cooper, and I would like to know something about the importance that Edna Manley have now in the development of the creativity. But I think that at the very beginning there was Alpha, even before the Jamaican industry, the Jamaican musical industry was existing. Yeah. And now in a different context there's Edna Manley. And I'm sure in the future Edna Manley will be celebrated the same way Alpha is celebrated, yes, as one of the cradles of reggae music.
Yes, so I'm happy you mentioned Edna Manley, because right now, and this is a fact, every reggae show that has a Jamaican reggae artist and possibly a Cali reggae artist, if you look on the stage, there's somebody from Edna Manley. There's a musician who went to Edna Manley, and there's a musician who was inspired by Mr. Ibo Cooper. Mr. Cooper being a member of Third World over the years, and actually, you know, I don't know what the story, well, I know the story, but we're not going to get into that, but the story of them parting ways, you know, and Mr. Cooper actually dedicating his time to education while Cat and the rest of the band decided to spread the music across the world. I mean, sometimes you wonder, you know, how life worked so perfectly, but sad at the same time, because if it wasn't for Mr. Cooper, probably I wouldn't be sitting here feeling like, you know, there's life and there's hope for reggae music. And if it wasn't for Third World, maybe festivals like this wouldn't be happening if they still weren't pushing forward. So both have been in very important to me. And so my vision is to actually, you know, share what I know about reggae music and, you know, education, fusing them together in a word that Mr. Cooper told us at school, edutainment. So I think Edna Manley needs a little bit of, you know, raising the standards when it comes to musicianship for, you know, reggae music. Because I studied Bach and Chopin and Beethoven in Edna Manley. And I was good at it. And I thought I was great. But then I heard some Chinese kids playing at age 5. And I was like, okay, maybe I should leave it alone, you know. So I think if we try and encourage roots rocking reggae music, you know. I mean, many Jamaicans don't know, you know,
Yes.
who is Laurel Aitken. They don't know half of, you know, our own culture, you know. So.
Check 2. Yeah, so we're about to open things up for question and answer so that you, the good people here at Rototom Sunsplash, can put some questions to our special guest. Before we do that, I'm going to sneak in a question of my own. I'd like to invite each of you to tell the good people here about what are you working on now? What do we need to be aware of that's coming up? And who are you working with exactly?
All right, for me, I'm working on myself, man. You know, that's what I'm working on. Brilliant. I'm working on me, and when that translates into something that I'd like to talk about or, you know, have a conversation about, then I'll put that down with Winter James and myself. You know, we do amazing work together. We get each other musically. He's very meticulous, very passionate about what he does, you know, and same with me. And I think we have a lot of similarities in terms of the way we feel or the way we view life or perspective on a lot of things, you know. So while I work on myself, I will continue to write and I will continue to experience life as it comes, you know, and when the time is right to work. Same. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, greetings. So, yeah, I agree with Mortimer 100%. The self need fixing, you know, and rest. But as you can see, I have on a T-shirt. It's a Wiki Waki Music Festival, which means no rest for Kumar. because I mean, it takes months of planning and organizing, and, you know, the impact of Wiki Waki, you know, over the years. And I'm working on Wiki Waki with Mr. Marlon moving. Debo Ross, where you there? Debo, big up yourself. Debo Ross. And so it's a lot of work, you know, to make it happen. And the last one we did, we had Max Romeo, you know, who passed away shortly after. And, you know, having that experience, you know, I feel that this is something that we have to keep going. And Third World was a part of the last one, and now it looks like it's gonna happen again. Like Wiki Waki on the beach in Jamaica is something that you don't wanna miss. It's a 2-day event, camping, you know, one of the first camping kind of music festivals in Jamaica. And it's on the beach, and there's bonfire, there's bingy drumming. Uncle Ronnie is the man. So Uncle Ronnie, yeah man, 8 Mile sound system. I mean, it's an experience. It's not too big. It's not a Rototom size. It's really family size, you know? So
Not yet.
very small. Well, I mean...
Not yet.
Yeah, you know? So that's what I'm saying. It has room to grow, but that's what I've been, you know, fully invested in, well, for the last 2 months, you know, while being on tour. So there's a lot going on, and as Mortimer said, I think I need some time as well for myself and my family because days pass, months pass, being on the road, and it take a toll, you know. So.
Thank you.
Well, for me, you know, we're always at work. We never stop working, so we have new music pile up to the ceiling, and we have new music coming soon as well. I work on an EP for release this year and an album next year. So just look out for some more music. Tonight I'm going to perform a few new songs that you've never heard before. So that's the vibe.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's open it up for the public because time is running so fast. Yeah, we have a few questions.
Okay, good afternoon. The topic is legacy of positivity. If you could leave a single mantra or message for your listener to carry with them, what would it be? And how did you arrive to that particular phrase?
Well, where am I start? She's saying the legacy of positivity, and if we could leave a message to, you know, everybody or the kids, what would it be and how did we arrive at that? Well, my mantra, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That alone just keep me in check all the while because sometimes, you know, you do things and you wouldn't like that to be done, you know? So that keep you in check. Yeah, man, that's my thing to go through.
What them say? Great minds think alike. He's a mind reader. So I'm going to pick a different one. I would have said, what would I say now? I feel like I'm going to say the same thing in a car.
Golden rule.
Yeah, it's the golden rule, you know. Even though some people like to be mistreated, some people like that, you know. Some people.
I don't believe that.
Listen, man. Some people like to be mistreated. There's something in them brain twist up.
Subconsciously, like.
So, all right. Remember, say you have demon spirit and you have.
True.
You understand? So you have to know them and work through I and I, human. That's how humanity get corrupted through the spirit. Yeah. You understand? So, but I'm still I gotta agree with you. Treat your brother like how you want to be treated. Yeah.
Legacy, man. It's a big word, you know. Small word, but a big word. You know. I feel like my thing is keep loving, keep feeling, keep fighting, see? No matter what. Never forget who you were yesterday, even as you become today. Don't forget the inner child as well. Never stop dreaming, no matter what, you know. You're not put on this earth to be at anyone's behest, but your own soul, so allow that to guide you. And I just want to say a quick thing, even outside of what I wanted to say. If anybody, let me see all the hands are the parents in here. Anybody who are parents? Anybody are parents in here? Yeah? Children and
Mama, Papa.
Mama, Papa. Saying.
Madre, Padre.
None of you are owners of your children. Set them free. Allow them to live and to be what they came here to be in this form, on this physical plane. Allow them space, nurture them, guide them as you go along. But do not have an expectation of them. And don't dream for them. They have their own dreams. And I know it might be disappointing to you sometime when you feel like you have a plan for them. But your plan is exactly that. It's your plan. It's not theirs. And they don't owe you anything. But you owe them everything. Okay? So guide them, nurture them, be kind, and allow them to be. See?
Hello? Yeah. Yes. Evening. Thank you very much for being here. I'm Angelique from the Netherlands. I'm 13 years old. I'm 57 now. I listen to reggae music. In that time, it was in the 80s, you know, you had a lot of reggae music on the radio, national radio. Even though maybe they would not put out the things that were really, really rebel music, but they played it. Nowadays, nothing. You know, the new songs, nothing. They play UB40, yes, they play Bob Marley. But where are you guys when it comes to national radio? I don't know. So I maybe don't really have a question to you all, but to the audience, like, I think we all have to send messages to the national radio stations. We want to hear reggae music because, you know, consciousness, we need to raise consciousness in the world.
Yes, that would definitely help.
So we have to call them because I heard for a fact somebody who wanted to plug reggae music on a national radio that they also get messages when they hear too much reggae. There are people sending emails, we don't want this music. So we have to, you know, the other side have to do something as well. And we are, you know, the big festivals, they are crowded, they're huge. Look here, look Reggae Lake in Amsterdam, look Sunsplash in The Hague in the Netherlands. I mean, they're growing, we are more and more. So we have to make more noise.
Hello, thank you for your words and your soul. Well, I would like to know if you can tell us some moment of your career, of your professional career that have inspired you, like, okay, I am going to write that lyric, that it's inspiring, or a moment that you have shared with someone that have inspired you to make something that have been great for your career?
Yeah, well, I have more than one of those moments that solidify.
The most important.
Most important moment for me. Well, I mean, that's very hard to say, but I would say a memorable moment for me in music is about a few years ago when the same Winter James approached me with a rhythm in the same moment when I lost one of my sons. Yeah. And, you know, immediately, you know, like a song just download from heaven into your brain fully all together. And I felt scared because I realized that, you know, there's power in just intention and thought. And I learned that because of that very sad situation. And that night, I recorded the song. 2 days later, Winter called me and said, yo, you have to sing it over. I'm going to sing it over. Him called me 2 days later and said, yo, you wouldn't believe, the other track don't sound like there's anything there. Come sing it again. So it happened about 3 times, and I realized that, you know, wherever he is, you know, Caleb Bent, my son, you know, who I lost, yeah, he's there. That was him. So when the smoke clears, it was one of that, the moment that I attached to my career, you know? Yeah, through everything else, yeah.
You're asking what's the most memorable lyric to
moment.
Okay. I don't even know, but I think the Bergamo thing, there's so much, sometimes we forget all the most important one, but the Bergamo thing what inspired me to become an artist with the crowd saying, yo, sing a song. I'm not going to forget that. And as far as the lyrical content is concerned, one lyric that is standing out to me now is, that's coming up on the next album. It's Bob Marley said, life is riches. When your soul gone, it not finish. We just there upon earth for a visit. 10,000 years for the Lord is a minute. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Some know say, time of the master. Them can't stop it like natural disaster. Them a try be the weather forecaster. CIAAI. Inner thinking. CIAAI.
Inner thinking.
Yeah, so I feel like that's one of the most, you know, because we're really just there upon earth for a visit, you know, and our soul, when we transition, our soul continue into another plane or maybe back here, you know. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, I just got the sign. There is no more time for another question, but I want Mortimer to have the question answered, and then we have to finish.
Bless up, brother. Thanks for the question, you know. And I just want to say before we don't get the chance to say thanks to everybody who's made it here tonight.
Yeah.
You see me, it was really nice to hold this reasoning with everybody. You know, I've never done something like this before. This is all new to me. You know, I never like to, you know, be up front all the time. But, yeah. But we grow as we go. But listen, man, every music that I've ever laid down is of importance to me. Every line. You know, so that question, there's no single line that I personally can pick out and say, well, you know, that particular line is like, I feel, and maybe if I was to say one, it probably would be from a song called New Roads that I have from my album, From Within. The first line says, how can you know me when to me I'm a stranger? See, because we are ever evolving as we go along. And there's never a time when we truly know ourselves. You know what I mean? And we are students of life as we go along on this journey. No matter how, I just told my brethren, Uncle Devon this morning, that no matter how old I get, I will still be a youth at heart, always open to imagination and growth. You know what I mean? So that lyric, there's a lot of people who think they know you when you don't even know yourself. Today you can like bananas and tomorrow you like strawberries. And that's just on the surface level. You see me? That's just on the surface level, not to mention the deeper matters of your heart that are way more complex and complicated than strawberries and bananas. You know what I mean? So we grow as we go, man, you know? You don't know. Yeah, man. And listen, the trees grow where they're watered, man. So reggae music, the essence of reggae music is root. And if it is to grow, then it needs to be watered. And it's going to have to be from a united front. You see me? A collective effort, you know what I mean, to push the music a certain kind of direction. See? Yeah, man.
Yes, that was a perfect ending for this session. Thank you very much, Yaadcore, Mortimer, Kumar, for sharing your thoughts. It was very deep and I really loved it. Thank you so much. And don't forget, on stage tonight, Yaadcore and the Roots Gang at 10:30 p.m. on the Lion stage. Kumar Fyah at 2 a.m. also on the Lion stage. And tomorrow, Yaadcore will be also selecting in the Dub Academy at 11 p.m. And now at 7 p.m. in the Reggae University tent, there will be a session led by the House of Rastafari, Rastafari's Awakening in the Strength of Rastafari. And they're going to start with a Nyabingi. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and it was great to have you all. Thank you.